Welcome to the Everyday Millionaire Show with Ryan Greenberg and Nick Kalfas. All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Everyday Millionaire Show. We are here in Boston right now, just the boys.
Boston?
Boston?
I can't do the accent, so I don't even want to try
clam
anymore.
chowder?
Clam chowder. We came up to do a couple of episodes with some influencers up here, and now we are literally set up in the mezzanine of our hotel to do a little internal pod.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What did we do today besides the pods? We went shopping.
Yeah, we did.
Nick is about to buy an AP, a nice little watch.
I don't know, man. I mean, I've never been a fan of wearing jewelry. I put the watch on. It was cool and everything, but I just don't know. Maybe it just wasn't the right one. Maybe that one was, what was that? That was a 42 or
It was a
40?
42.
Yeah. Just felt a little big. I mean, that was one of the bigger ones he did mention. When that one came out, it was like the larger, and people called it like the giant or whatever they called it.
What was that street that we were on here in Boston?
Newbury Street.
Newbury Street. There was like Rolex, AP,
Yeah.
Patek,
Richard Mille.
There was Breitling. Like every fucking watch brand was
Yeah.
there.
Big
was-
watch city, apparently.
It was sick. And what's really kind of cool is like they're paying, if you think about it, those people are paying, like they wouldn't sell us a watch. They wouldn't even sell you one.
Yeah,
And now
well,
you
you
want
couldn't even
one
get in
so
Rolex.
bad
You're part of the
now.
club.
Get in Rolex, and I flashed my fucking Rolex at them, and they still said no.
Yeah.
But like,
Well, that's just because they were at capacity. They were pretty packed in there. Most common watch, I guess, would be a Rolex, so there was a lot of people in there. But when you went to the AP store, they told you that it would take up to 3 years to get a watch, and
3
that
to 4
makes you
years.
want to get a watch, and that was a huge sales tactic that he pulled on you because right now you're itching for one.
But he's only selling like 3 watches a year, he said, or I guess he said 3 of the Royal Oaks per year. And they're paying like for that storefront for him and the other guy and the lady to be there working, and they're not like, it's like a store that you can go into and you can look, but you can't buy.
Yeah.
It's a wild concept.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, the sales taxes were great. Let's be real. The no pressure. Hey, everything in here is exhibit. I
You
sell you any-
can't. I can't sell you it.
Yeah.
That's makes me want to buy it so bad.
Yeah.
That's all I want to do.
That's
now
the
is buy it.
perfect time for window shopping. You can just walk in and be like, well, there's nothing to buy anyway.
I think
so
I'm
I'll
going to
just
start doing
window
that with
shop.
real estate clients. I'm just be like, let's go look at this house, but I'm not going to sell it to you, actually.
You can't afford it.
You can't.
And that
buy
makes
it.
you want it more.
Yeah.
Makes you
Yeah.
want it that much more. But the world of like watches in general, after hearing that guy talking about like the way that they make the ceramic watch and all that stuff, they have like hand scratch it, and like that is pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
And how all of them, they all come from Switzerland. I don't know why Switzerland's so good at making watches, but that's like,
I don't know either, but I know with the
Rolex?
Rolexes, they just the quality of the watch itself is just incredible.
Yeah.
Other than just the brand, the actual watch is a really good watch, and
Are we sponsored
they
by
last
AP now?
forever.
But anyway, so when we
Sponsored by AP.
when we went in there, and also a cool thing was when he said that there was someone who there's a new program where if you lose it within 2 years or it gets damaged, that like they'll replace it. I'm like, that's crazy.
That's
to think
crazy
about
because why wouldn't somebody just say it got
Yeah,
stolen and then get a
exactly.
second one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then you can never get the stolen one serviced.
Yeah.
Ever, because it would have a serial number obviously on it. But yeah, that is a wild. I mean, I feel like having seen all of those brands, like the AP store was Richard Mille was obviously the most exclusive.
Yes, I want that one. That's that one that
There
we
was
saw.
3
that was
watches.
fire.
There was a whole store, and there was 3 watches in there, and
Yeah.
none of them were for sale.
Yeah.
And the one was 1.2 mil. The other one was what, 270?
270. Yeah.
Wait, was there only 2 watches?
No, there was one when we first walked in on the
you
front.
first
Yeah.
walked in.
Yeah.
I don't know. They
I didn't like
tell us-
that design of that one, but
No,
I
but
didn't even
Richard
ask how
Mille
much that one
that's
was.
wild. Like $1.2 million to wear it on your wrist. I am not a criminal, and I would want to rob you. For that.
and that's
Yeah.
the thing too, right? Like you said in like Europe and stuff, they'll snatch your watch off your wrist.
Yeah.
I mean, just to have that watch and then feel uncomfortable walking around with it, just for that reason, it's kind of like, I guess,
Yeah.
just like a collector piece that you just.
But
keep
I
in
mean,
your
okay,
house.
so for the people that are listening though, and they're like, all right, you guys are talking about watches, but there is an investment piece to it. And this is how you kind of sold your wife and, were pitching it to me is like, hey, look, I can buy this, but I am going to get a return. And that's something that I've always found very valuable. Like, our bikes, right? Like we bought really expensive bikes, but I know not that I'm going to get the full value back, but I'm going to get something back.
There's an asset to it, because we were talking about the argument between like luxury clothing and something like a watch. Where clothing, like, I don't want to wear your fucking shirt after you're done wearing it for a while. Like, I'm not gonna pay.
You don't want to do
good
that?
money.
Hand-me-downs?
You guys want to split a bunch of shirts? Your size medium? You want to split a wardrobe?
There is a niche for getting sweaty in clothes and selling it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't think they want mine though.
Yeah.
They're looking for a little different demographic of sweaty clothing than me and you. But maybe Ben.
Yeah, but it's an investment. So I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, you know, you might pay $10K for a watch, but it could even appreciate, and you could sell it for like $12K, $13K.
Well, the way I look at it, so like this watch, when it retailed, like originally, was sold for $2,500, like back in the 80s or whatever. Now they're $10,000 minimum. So like that in itself appreciated as an asset, and you got to wear it and like have a nice piece, you know, of jewelry, and it's like a conversation starter. I look at it as an investment. Even if you're not getting your full value back, you're getting. It's kind of like, you know, like you're leasing a car, but it's better. Cause you're like, I could just trade this in and go get another one at any time and get my value back out of it.
Yeah.
So you can either have 10 grand just sitting in your bank account or in stocks, like, or a nice watch that you wear.
What would you say to the people who say, I'd rather spend $25K on a house though?
That's a way better decision. That's a way better decision. But eventually, like,
there's levels to it.
There's levels. I also said to Eugene probably like 5 years ago when he started buying Rolexes, oh, that's a stupid investment. If I had the money you had, I would buy a fucking other house.
Yeah. And
then I did that, and then bought another house, and then that gets boring after a while too. And you have to diversify.
You have to just spend money.
You have to spend it.
On watches.
I mean, if you're not gonna spend it, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, like, I feel like the people that just hoard money, like that's cool, but when you have enough to live and like, you know, you're set, like, you know, you're pretty good, like you'd be okay for the rest of your life. Like, why not enjoy it and splurge a little bit?
Yeah. Well, I think for me right now, everybody has seasons of their life. Like for me, I'm definitely in the building phase.
Yeah, you're young.
Right? Like we're trying to create wealth for our children, whereas like you already have a portfolio. Like Nick obviously has 100 houses. Like, you know, a 10K, 12K, even 25K watch to y'all is nothing. Whereas like that's another.
I wouldn't say nothing.
Okay, well it's something. Whatever. But
it's not a 1.2 Richard Mille.
Yeah.
But
right. But like for me,
day.
that's another portfolio. Like 25K could be another addition to my portfolio.
If you're listening to this and it's between buying a watch or a rental property, buy the fucking house.
Yeah.
Or flip the house or put it in the stock market or do anything else.
Yeah.
I'm not buying these for the. I like made that argument, but I'm not buying the watches for the investment piece.
But it is an investment at the end of the day.
And we're largely talking about it now because we obviously were walking and we saw the watch stores and there was multiple, and we were like, let's go in here, let's go in there.
And there's like
it's cool to see them.
There's like a whole world of people that like are like that guy. He just works at that store. He rattled off the watches that he had. In my head, I was like adding it up. It's like $250,000 just like in the things that he just said he had.
Yeah.
And he just works at the watch place.
Yeah.
And he had Rolexes, APs. Like he had a bunch of, I mean, at least I would say at least $250,000 of watches. And there's like watch clubs that you can join that you go to, like they like rent out like how we do our meetups for investors. They do that for watches too.
Yeah.
So you get around a bunch of people that are able to afford 6-figure watches. That's a good room to be.
And
should we sit outside the store and just wait for him to go home?
Well, no. I forget the name of the watch store that we went to today. The first one.
Breitling.
Yeah, Breitling, where they're having a real estate party tomorrow. And they're inviting people who do 200 million plus a year. Like that's a really cool event that they're hosting for them, and it's a good opportunity for them to, you know,
dude,
bring
super
people in
smart
to buy.
marketing. I mean, think about it. You invite all the top agents in. The agents either want to be flashy or they're buying a gift for their client because they just bought $3 million, $4 million house. Like that's pretty sick. That's like really good marketing.
And Breitling makes an Iron Man finisher watch.
Yeah,
that would be a cool. Yep. That would be a cool alternative to the tattoo.
Yeah, true.
But I did not buy that. I just feel like there's not. Well, that also like doesn't have as much of a resale value because like only people that would want it would be people that have done the Ironman.
Yeah.
Well, that's something that I would think you wouldn't want to get rid of,
No, but I'm saying if we were making like the argument that the watch was like a good investment, that one would not be an investment. That would be just strictly like I did this, look at it kind of thing. But Boston's been cool. It's cold as shit here. That's the one thing.
It is really
it's
cold,
like bone chilling cold. And it gets cold at home. I feel like it's just a different type of cold here.
It was, because yesterday it was rainy, but it was like 55 degrees. Today it was like 30 degrees, but it was sunny, but you really felt the cold. It just felt a little different, like the cold.
Yeah, it gets into you, like in deep.
Yeah, like
my
it's harder
chest.
to like
In that
breathe.
podcast today, I was shivering. I had to have Ben get my jacket like mid-pod.
Yeah.
And that was a great setup that they had here. It was the TD Garden. Was that where we were?
Yeah, we can't talk about that. That was cool. So Kevin Cooney was the one that set up the studio. I guess he started out with them as their studio. Like that was his studio, not his, but like that's where he recorded his podcast. So he linked us up with them. It was like full professional gear. We had cameras. We had a guy, engineer, I guess you'd call him, doing the audio and visual stuff. That was super cool. And then got to film with Johnny, the PE guy. We did some skits with him. Those are so funny.
Yeah.
So those are already, some of them are out. I think one of them's out now on our Instagram. And they'll probably all be out by the time this thing airs. But
another cool thing about the setup today where we were, it's the glass in front of us where people would walk by and they'd like take a glance in, like, oh, what's going on in there?
They were taking pictures of us.
Yeah, a couple people did stop and they were like sitting there, and I was like trying not to look, but like people were stopping. I could only imagine if there's like a game or an event and like somebody's like Tom Brady or somebody's like there talking, like you probably get big crowds in front.
Well, Tom Brady owns that place.
Yeah, that's why I said that.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they said he owned half of it.
Yeah, half of it, whatever. I mean, the whole idea there, that vision of where they put that thing is absolutely genius. Like everybody walking past that, the hub it's called, where like it wasn't just for games. Like the TD Garden had like a whole hub of restaurants and little shops and stuff.
Train stations in there too.
So people like can come in. You can come in on a train, record a podcast, and get out. You can come in, watch a game. Like that was a pretty legit setup, I would say.
Yeah, no, for sure it was.
When I looked at their website too, if you look at Big Night Media, but they have like Big Night Talent, Big Night this, Big Night. They have like a whole bunch of different things. They were selling fucking baseball cards,
memorabilia. Yeah,
that's
all
a whole
sports
other
related
world
cards.
that I haven't gotten into that I'm not interested in. But like, there's a lot of money in cards. I'm not a card guy. I don't think.
You might turn into one. There's money to be made there.
Yeah, I don't know.
We should go back there
interest
tomorrow
me.
and
It's
get
just
some
like-
cards.
You want to buy some cards?
Yeah.
And do a live reveal?
Yeah.
I feel like
Pokemon though.
Dude, that is wild. Logan Paul has like $1 million Pokemon card that he made like a fucking necklace out of.
Yeah, again, when we were talking about like the watches, right? Like it's just that collection, that collector's piece, and like people are like going crazy over it, especially like my age. And then like Gary Vee has his own cards now, and it's just like it's a different world. But I never really got into it.
Yeah, me either. I didn't get into cards, but I didn't think I'd get into watches either. And now here we are.
Yeah.
Freaking looking at watches. But tonight we're going to the F1 arcade. This is something I've wanted to do for a while, so pretty stoked about that. Going to do some eSIM racing, and dinner with another investor that's it's a Maryland investor?
Yeah, he's a wholesaler contractor, Joe Estevan.
He's a contractor?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's out of Savannah Park.
Yeah, he does
He like
his own
lives where you
flips
guys
and
live in
stuff.
like Glen Burnie. Down there.
Oh.
He's like really in Savannah Park. No, I'm just kidding. No, they do a lot all over Maryland. But they've really pivoted to wholesaling a lot. Him and his partner Alex.
Yeah, I feel like they've tried to sell me a couple houses in Moco in Montgomery County.
Yeah.
That's where they're like pretty heavy in. But none of the deals have made sense for us to buy. But I feel like the wholesaling game is just like, I don't know, man.
Saturated and tough.
It's so saturated. It's so tough. And if you want to do it at a high level, you really need to put like at least $50K a month into marketing. I feel like
and you can't just jump there. You have to slowly get there. But people that are starting out in wholesaling, it's like they don't know numbers, so they just throw a deal out, get it under contract with the seller, and then throw it out there, and everyone's like, who's going to buy this? You know.
But a lot of investors are. That's the crazy part. That's what sucks is that the new investors come in and they just want a deal.
That happens so often where an investor will buy something just because they're anxious to buy their first deal or a deal, and they'll lose money like crazy.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, you know, another new investor comes in and does the same thing. And I'm like, okay.
It's weird because, like, you know, I had almost analysis paralysis when I first started. Like, I was just analyzing deals, and it wasn't like that. Do you think it was just like over time it's just gotten so popular to where people are like, I know I'm thinking about this too much, I just gotta buy one?
Yeah, I think it just got so sexy online.
Yeah.
And like everybody started doing it and making content about it, and like Bigger Pockets came out, and like I just think it got everybody that word passive income, everybody thinks it's like I could just passively buy real estate and make a bunch of money, which isn't actually the case at all. Like, it's if you want to make real money, it's a job. Like, you need to do it as a job, not a passive investment. I feel like back when we started, it could have been a passive investment.
That was my thought process when I first started. Like, I need to figure out how I can make money and not do anything, making money when I'm sleeping. And it's not really the case. You have to put in a lot of work, a lot of hours, a lot of like analyzing the numbers. And
you're constantly, like, when you own a portfolio and you manage it, you're on call all the time. Like, at any point right now, somebody can call me and say a house is on fire.
Yeah. And I'd be like, call the fire department.
Call the fire department.
Why are you calling me? I don't have a fire truck at home.
I have gotten calls from the fire department in the middle of the night because of like carbon monoxide alarms, but like that is not a passive thing whatsoever.
Well, I mean, that begs the question though, Nick. If you didn't have your landscaping company, how passive would your portfolio be? I mean, I know you have 100 units. You have, how many vacancies do you have right now? 13 vacancies. Like, how much work would you actually have to put into that, and could you survive off 100 units?
So, I've also been flipping too. I actually might slowly like fizzle out of the landscaping.
Why not sell it?
Well, I might do that. I have a lot of equipment and stuff like that. But I don't know if, you know, the customers, I mean, we do have like recurring revenue from customers that we had for many years that we can potentially sell. But when I talk to other people who have sold and got out of the business, it's not really like a huge chunk. Mainly it's in the equipment, the trucks, the mowers, the trailers.
Like a business like that, and knowing from like talking to people about selling the property management company, if you have good contracts, like recurring HOAs and like stuff like that, like that's where the
like the bigger like the commercial contracts. We were largely like residential, just homeowners. They were, you know, with us for many years. And
I mean, either way, you should try to sell it regardless, because you have stuff.
So I've also obviously flipped more houses too, so that kind of like brings in.
So so if you didn't do landscaping and you didn't flip houses, do you think you could literally just wake up every day and just like manage your properties at a very like low work rate? Or
I could, but I have employees that I'd have to get rid of if I got to that point and just wanted to like not do anything. I'd still have to probably have one full-time guy for like maintenance. Because right now, you know, I have 5 full-time guys on payroll just for the construction, and that's a pretty penny every week. Just, you know, putting it out on you know, the new stuff, the maintenance stuff, the turnover stuff. I mean, some turnovers are costly. You know, 5,000 plus.
So for 100 units, I've kind of figured out like you need one person like behind the desk doing like rent collection, follow up, blah, 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 and then you need one person in the field doing wellness checks, maintenance, all that kind of thing. And then you need somebody to do leasing. And that's like the 3 pieces, like when you get to 100. And then when you get to like 200, then you need a couple more admin staff, and you can start like subbing out some maintenance stuff. But that, you know, keeping the employees employed is important. I would feel terrible like if that's the one thing that keeps me going, honestly, is like the people. Like,
well, that was
like a Christmas party the other day. We had like all those people every year when we do our Christmas party, and I see all those people, and that wasn't even all the guys. Like there was like 5 or 6 families that didn't show up. When I look at the room and I'm like, holy shit, like this is a lot of people that survive off of me feeding, like giving them money, like paying them.
Like I feel like I'm more motivated to keep the guys busy than I am to buy my next deal. For example, when I first started out, I was working with a GC, and one of his subs came up to me and was like, Nick, can you hire me full time? And I didn't have an employee on the construction side at that time. He's like, well, if you hire me, can you hire me and my friend? And I was like, well, you know, if I don't think I can hire one, what makes you think I can hire 2? But I was like, fuck it, let's do it. And I hired both of them, and I'm like, I got to keep them busy. So that was my main motivation, was like, they're relying on me, and that put pressure under me and fire under me to like find that next opportunity and that next property to buy, just to keep them going.
I mean, we'll randomly have guys, like if we're like between like inspections or something where we don't have, like we can't work at this house, like we'll just put them in random places, even if it's kind of like a waste of money, just to keep them going.
Yeah.
And some of the guys got a little sauced up on Thursday night. One of the guys like came up to me and he would, like started like basically like almost crying. Was like, thank you so much for the work and all the opportunity, and like for me and my family, and like that's like the biggest motivating factor about the scaling.
It's slow right now. Like I hear a lot of people, like one of my main guys says that one of his, like a lot of his friends are calling him for work, like if there's any work out there.
I'm
like,
getting a lot of calls, and I'm getting connected with a lot of people through other investors that were using people that aren't flipping as much. Like Santos hit me up in a group chat with like a roofer and a siding guy, and he's like, hey, like this is one of my guys, like he's just looking for work. I think all the investors that slowed down like big time, all their guys are struggling because they were just doing investor work. But for the work that I do, I can't have the investor contractor guy. Like the high-end home.
Oh yeah. You got to have somebody that can go in the house and not shit in the bag and leave it under a countertop.
Exactly. So it's a totally different ballgame. So like all these people that are also becoming, you've seen a bunch of people become contractors that were investors and flippers. And
yeah, but then the work has to be there too. The
work has to be there. And I was talking to Ross the other night at the Studio A event, and he was like, "Dude, I don't know how you do it. Like, I don't have any homeowners that are calling me." So, and he's got like trucks with logos. Like he's got he's much smaller, but he should be like busy. Like I'm doing I have way more than I can do right now. But with the contractors piece of it, I can only trust like certain small groups of people to go into these homes.
Right.
And some of them literally shit in bags.
Yeah.
Like they shit in plastic bags and leave it on the floor.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. And it sucks. I mean, it's good. I'm happy that you're growing at that rate. It does suck though, because like now, like we just had a house over in Annapolis that like it needs like handyman stuff, right? And like I can't call you for that because you're already too busy doing these big kitchens and stuff. So like there is a need for that, but it's just like, who can you trust to go like, this is a client that I need to sell their house for top dollar. Like I can't just, like you said, send anybody.
So like that's like a small list of stuff you're referring to, right, Chase?
Yeah, like a punch out list, but like it's gonna be one bathroom that needs to be done.
Yeah, and like pin lists. I feel like a lot of contractors, they don't like doing that stuff. They don't like doing like pin lists and small stuff like that.
Doing them. I still do them every once in a while for good. Like I've done a couple in the last few weeks for Jill Wooten. Like if you're like a big agent and you call me, look, like I can flex the maintenance staff to do, like Rabbit is good at punch lists. So if he's not busy, like I could flex him to do those. And the way I looked at it, how I used to look at it, was all of those small things, doing those small things for people always leads to something bigger. Like I did a bunch of punch lists for Dennis Thomas. You know him? He's an agent up in like Moncton. He worked for Next Step or whatever. And I did like, I don't know, probably 5 to 10 pin lists, like dumb little pin lists for him, like probably all of them less than $2,000 jobs. And then I got like a big basement remodel from one of his homeowner clients. Like he sold a house and like did a big basement or something like that for like $150,000. Yeah. So I like trenched through these couple of shitty small jobs, but then ended up landing the big job. Now I'm just too busy to try to be motivated to try to do that. But like that's how you start. If you're trying to be a contractor, do the shit that the other people don't want to do, because it's gonna end up you doing something else.
Right.
Well, and not even that. You can just perfect it and just do all of it and just make it, as long as it profits, it makes sense.
The problem is those jobs are very hard because the people don't want to pay. Like you think about it this way, like if you're calling me to do your bathroom, it's because you want it to be done. It's not, most of the time it's not like a necessity. It's something that you want. Your kitchen, you want it to be redone. But a pin list, nobody wants that. Yeah. Like except the buyer, and they're not paying. So you're kind of like stuck with it's like working for investors as a contractor. It's the same thing.
That is
like
true.
They don't want to pay. They don't want to do that job. It's not adding value. It's not making them any money. So you're just the guy that's trying to make something off of them. And with a $2,000 total job, what are you making? $400,
Yeah.
$500.
And that's true, because it's an expense that the seller didn't really anticipate, right?
Right.
And then you're trying to make a profit, and if they see the number, they might try to, like, cut the number down, and then it's like no one's satisfied, and
everybody's mad. It's the same thing as property management maintenance stuff. Like, yeah, sure, if I do a $100 call, I make $10. Like, it's a 10% markup. Like, that's not, you can't survive on that.
Yeah.
You can never survive on that. So if you're doing it, and the other problem is competing with people that are like not licensed, not insured. Like, we have workers' compensation insurance. We got trucks, vehicle insurance. I mean, we're paying thousands and thousands of dollars a month in just insurance. And then we're competing against guys that they own one truck, they have no insurance, they don't have a bond, they don't have anything, and they can charge a whole lot less than I have to charge. And people think it's like, oh, well, you're just too expensive. It's not that. It's like I'm probably making the same margin as that other guy, but I'm doing
more
it by the books.
Yeah.
Like, I just have more expenses. And that's why I stopped really working for investors.
Yeah.
They just fucking suck. Like,
Yeah.
most of them are just trying to get something for free or for cheap.
And it was a better time in 2020, 2021 where interest rates were low. Investors could, burr out of a property and still cash flow, and they could flip a property without doing high-end renovation. And
Chase and I were talking about this the other day, and why the reason we got into these like small development lots. And I was telling people, like, I think we're on the podcast or something. He's like, stop. Maybe it was a story. He's like, stop saying that. Everybody's going to get into it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, they're not. Because in that game, in flipping and development and building, you need a builder. And that builder's the one that's going to make the money if they're not the investor. They're going to make all the money. And the investor, like, it's either one or the other right now with the current market. It's either the contractor and builder is going to make money, or the investor is going to make money. In our situation, we are the builder, so we can make money. But if we weren't the builder, it wouldn't be worth it for us to put out that much money and risk that much money to make what we would make if the contractor was making a fair margin.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like, you could try to go build a house, but it might work, it might not.
Yeah.
It might cost you a couple $100,000 to learn a hard lesson. But
it's also super expensive too to do that, even if you're flipping, right? Like, we're dropping 70 to 80,000 on a lot cash, and then holding that for 3 or 4 months.
Yep.
And most investors that's total in the deal.
Right. And that's 3 months of doing nothing. Nothing's happening. Like, right now, like, we have, I think it's probably like 150,000 out on one of these lots, and we just have a foundation down, and we're about to get a loan on it finally that the foundation's down. But we've been dealing with this deal for over a year. Like, literally between the development, the subdivision, all that stuff, it's been a year, and we're not even the one doing the actual development. Like, we bought it from the person doing this, the side-by-side development, not the vertical development. We're building it vertically, but it's been in the works for a year, and we've had money out on the street now for months. We just dropped another $80K on a lot that we won't even see a permit until February. So it's just like money just sitting out there. And then we pray that the market appreciates or stays flatlined, because we're underwriting the deal now, but we're not going to be able to sell it until next year or like late this year.
Yeah.
So you're like, if there is a 10% correction, that's could be all the profit. So it's not an easy game to play right now. I'll say that.
No.
But today, Kevin's made it sound real easy for him.
Yeah.
He was paying, I don't even want to say it, 4% for property management.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely bonkers.
That is
cheap.
crazy. I mean, he was saying the units were like $1,600 each, and that was
$1,650 a door.
I didn't ask him like if it was a 2-bed or 3-bedroom, but there were apartment units. So
yeah, so like
maybe it's easier to manage up here in Boston than it is. Oh, I'm sure
no way.
it is.
It's harder. It's got to be harder. All the snow.
Well, no. As far as like tenant management.
Oh, I'm sure he said C-class. I'm sure it's similar C-class. But as a property manager, he's paying $66 a unit. Like, how does a property management company make money managing a unit for $66? Like, that's insane. Unless you're doing thousands and thousands of units, and then still there's still no margin there.
Yeah, because he said he bought 5 unit and then another 5 units. I'm assuming they're not in the same street or next to each other. So yeah, so that's $660 for 10 units that are in 2 5-unit
Right.
buildings. That's not a lot at all.
No, you can't even pay a VA that
Mhm.
much. You know, like that's like.
I wonder
crazy.
how that is. Yeah, maybe he has some sort of deal with his influence and
Maybe.
social media that I don't know. Maybe he like promotes the management company in some way.
Well, he did today. I think he
Yeah.
did drop their name
Yeah.
today.
Well, I mean, even if you are doing thousands and thousands of units as a property manager, you're probably not doing them very well, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no way.
So,
I mean,
like-
the big guys in Baltimore that are doing thousands of units all get hate. Like people don't like them, and they switch to the smaller outfits like us. We're constantly getting clients from the big companies because they just outsource everything to the Philippines, where we have people in the Philippines too, but like everything goes to the Philippines, and that's the only way that they can do it for cheaper
Yeah.
at scale. But I think this one's got to be, we got to wrap this one up, right?
Yep.
We got a
Little dinner
little
resi.
dinner date with a Maryland guy, and yeah, just wanted to get another episode in. Hopefully this will come out after the probably
Yeah. After
today's
that
one. So give us some love, follow, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.